Aveley 0, BTFC 3 here with Leigh. So what did you make of tonight's first performance?
I thought it was a great performance by Billericay. I think in terms of it being a pre-season match, I think everybody had a very good workout. I think Aveley provided decent opposition, passed it very well in the first half, gave us a good game. We're probably a little bit unfortunate to go down 3-0, and they had one or two chances. But I think for both sides it was a good workout, and I think most players got extra minutes under their belts, which they need.
Who impressed you the most tonight?
I think in the first half, certainly Jake Howels caught the eye. I thought he was very lively on the left-hand side. I thought he played very well. Also, I thought when Jamie O'Hara came on in the second half, I think he sprayed the ball around. He looked very good. He added a touch of quality. And I also think that some of the players that came on, I like the look of Moses Emmanuel. He looked nippy up front. He caused a lot of danger on the right hand side. The young trialist Geordie Mangoy, he looked lively as well. I think Simon Walton looked commanding in the centre of the midfield. So I think there's a lot of good things there in that team that I liked.
If there was one thing, if you was Harry, that you'd look to improve on before the start of the season on the 4th August against Truro, what would that be?
I actually think that pre-season is a progression in terms of getting extra fitness as you move through the programme. So I think that what he's seen today, certainly, I don't know what happened in the 4-1 defeat in the week, but I think they bounced back very well. They've started extremely well by getting the 1-1 at Ebbsfleet, who are an extremely strong side. So I think everything's progressing well, and I think it's just a question of hammering down, the guys that he wants in his first 11 and which trialists we're going to keep. I think most of the squad is in place, and it's really a question of who is going to be in that starting 11 for the Truro game. And we've got another test on Friday against Maidstone, who are a very good side. So I look forward to how that turns out as well.
Well, obviously, Chris, backed away from this answer, but I'm sure I'll get an answer off you.
Maybe not.
Who's your favourite new player?
Again, I think I'll do the same thing as Chris and say, don't want to say too much about that. I think that every new player that I've seen has shown that they bring something additional to the squad, so it's very encouraging, whether they're playing in defence. And it was a shame that Gehring had to go off after 5 minutes, because I really wanted to see, how he would be in the centre of defence. We've obviously talked about having a defender of a certain amount of height and stature, and I think that he would have fitted the bill nicely. So it's a shame that he went off. But in terms of who I saw, I think that Connor Hunt looked exciting in the brief moments that he did have the ball. I think Moses Emmanuel, I mentioned earlier, I really like the look of him, very nippy up front. So I think it's all coming together. And again, another mention to Simon Walton, who looked very experienced. But I think that I would also say that Danny Waldron alongside Simon looked very much at home in the centre midfield. He stayed on for the whole game, and he was very solid. And I think if you looked at Danny Waldron and said, he's a new signing from the National League, he wouldn't have looked out of place at all, because I think he played extremely well on the night.
All right, thanks, Leigh.
Thanks.